What's up, guys? Check it out. You're denying that right now, but I know deep down inside you sort of kind of miss being in this classroom. All right, today marks the very first day of our judicial branch unit. For those of you who do not like taking tests or taking online tests, I have some good news for you. No test this unit. Instead, we're going to work on a small little project. Yeah, and I'll explain that next week or after break. Today, make sure you fill out your attendance form, and then you're going to do this judicial branch visual vocabulary assignment to help you understand the rest of the unit. This assignment will be due December 22nd. And just a quick reminder, midterms are December 21st, Monday. Parent-teacher conferences are also December 21st, Monday from 5 to 8 p.m. You can still sign up if you'd like. And the foreign policy tools and goals assignment is due December 22nd. So we got a lot of reminders coming up. If you have any questions about this assignment or any of those reminders, make sure you email me, call or text me, and then remember my open office hours are from 1:30 to 3. All right, going back to our assignment, go ahead and click on this judicial branch visual vocabulary, and it should look something like this. For each slide, there's going to be a vocab word. Make sure you do a web search to define each vocab word as it pertains to the federal courts or legal system. Notice that part is underlined and italicized, so it's super important. And I'm going to demonstrate what I mean by that in the example following these directions. All right, after you add your definition, either add a picture or give an example of each vocab word, either or. Most of your points for this assignment will come from this adding a picture or giving an example part, because that's going to be level 2 thinking. The accurate definition for each vocab word, that's level 1 thinking, where you literally type your vocab word into Google and Google tells you the definition. So most of your points will be from the picture or the example, so make sure you're doing level 2 thinking on those. All right, if you feel like you don't want free answers or an example would not help you, go ahead and exit this video. If you are interested in some free answers, stick around. All right, thanks for sticking around. We're going to go ahead and do an example using the vocab word appeals. So we're just going to open up a new tab on Google, type appeal in to find the definition. And when you do that, it should look something like this. Very first definition, make a serious or urgent request, typically to the public. Okay, that could be pertaining to the federal courts or law, but check it out. Definition number 2, it literally says law. So Google went ahead and tell you, hey, this is the definition that applies to the federal courts or the legal system. So as you're doing your searches, you might have to do some critical thinking to see if it would apply to the judicial branch, or Google might do that critical thinking for you and say, hey, here is the legal definition, and it'll do that by saying law by the definition. All right, so we have 2 different definitions, but they're both kind of talking about the same thing. So you could use either or. Apply to a higher court for a reversal of a decision of a lower court, or an application to a higher court for a decision to be reversed. So you can go ahead and use either definition. Both would count as correct. Apply to a higher court for the reversal of a decision of a lower court. All right, for this one, I'll probably give an example. And honestly, what this kind of reminds me of is when you go to your dad and ask for permission for something, and your dad says no. And then you go to your mom and ask her the same question, like for the same permission, to see if she'll say yes instead. Okay, it's exactly like that, except in a court of law. Okay, so you can use that for your example if you'd want to, if you feel like that'll help you remember appeals, or you can just make up your own example too. Here's the example that I used. A lower court deemed Mrs. Collins as guilty. Mrs. Collins disagreed with this ruling. She filed for appeal, and her case was heard at a higher court. You can go ahead and use an example like that. You could use the parent example if you wanted to, or if it makes more sense to you, you can go ahead and add a picture. If it's not super obvious how your picture relates to the vocab word, make sure you add a little text box by clicking this little icon right here and add your text box. Remember, this is going to be due December 22nd, so if you have any questions, make sure you ask. I know that due date is a little bit closer to when this assignment was assigned, but I think you guys will be able to handle it. Be sure to double check the rubric right here at the bottom before you turn it in. Notice that the majority of the points are for the example or the picture. Good luck, guys.